let's get you more on that. United States, which is just hours away from the historic election day and the final stretch of the big battle, the U.S. Vice President and Democratic candidate Kamala Harris and Republican nominee and former President Donald Trump have made their final case to the voters across battleground states, especially when it comes to the swing states of Pennsylvania. More than 78 million Americans have already voted, and the polls continue to show that it is extremely close contest with both of the candidates running neck and neck, both nationally and also in the swing states. Let's get you the updates. Well, as we talk about as far as when it comes to the elections in the United States of America, the outreach that has now been made, especially when it comes to the middle class, and also what Donald Trump has been pitching so far, being the Republican candidate, this is the pitch of Make America Great Again that has been appealed to the voters to get out and vote, and promises there would be safe and secure border. Kamala Harris broke it, but will fix it. That has been the barb that has been sent by Donald Trump himself. So we are just trying to get as far as Chris Kakio. Chris is with us right now. Chris, good morning to you from India and good evening to you from there, as we are joining you live from Michigan. If you can tell us, especially when it comes to the developments that have been taking place, it's the eve of the big day over the United States, what the atmosphere is like there, especially in Michigan, where you're reporting from. This is one of the 7 swing states.
Yes, Michigan is a battleground state, and it's really been inundated with political TV ads. People I talked with on both sides, whether they're Republicans or Democrats or even undecided, they're just ready for this election to be over, because they're not just seeing ads for the race for president from Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's campaigns. They're seeing a flood of ads for all the congressional candidates, races for the U.S. House, races for the U.S. Senate, as Michigan might be one of the states that helps determine control of the U.S. Senate, as you know, there's only a 1-seat majority for Democrats in that chamber. And we're also looking at 3 key voting blocks in Michigan: Arab Americans, auto workers, and black men, as Donald Trump has tried to peel off support from Kamala Harris.
So where and how do you believe that the 2 candidates are spending when it comes to the eve of the election day, Chris?
Well, they're crisscrossing those so-called blue wall battleground states. Harris's final campaign stops are here in Michigan. She's also in western Pennsylvania, in Wilkes-Barre, eastern Pennsylvania in Allentown, western Pennsylvania in Pittsburgh, and then eastern Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. So she's crisscrossing that battleground state, and it's 19 electoral votes. And she's really concentrating on areas that have a large Puerto Rican population, as that community took offense to comments made by a comedian at a Madison Square Garden rally for Donald Trump a couple of weeks ago. And Donald Trump, for his part, he was in North Carolina. He's also been in Reading, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he'll wrap up with a late-night stop in Grand Rapids, which is sort of tradition for him. His final stop in 2016 on the eve of winning the U.S. election then was in Grand Rapids, and he made a stop there in 2020. So it's become a bit of a tradition for him. It's his 3rd consecutive presidential election that he's stopping in Grand Rapids on the last night. Now, the VP candidates are in Wisconsin, Michigan, Atlanta, Newtown, Pennsylvania, and Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. So again, crisscrossing the battleground states in that so-called blue wall.
So, Chris, when we talk about the strategies, both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, what do you believe that they are pushing in for the last minute to the race?
Yeah, Harris is not mentioning Trump by name. Her campaign says it's intentional, as she wants to really close on a positive note. Now, Trump, for his part, is hailing his relationship with the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico. He did so at that Raleigh, North Carolina stop. And that's, again, 2 weeks after a comedian called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. But Trump, for his part, said Puerto Rico is great, and he said that he had been the president that had done the most for that territory.
So who exactly is leading in those polls? I mean, as far as the latest polls are also concerned, it is a very, very tight contest. Some states, and we are looking at the states where Kamala Harris is leading, and not very far off is Donald Trump.
Right. It's a statistical tie in those 7 so-called battleground states. Some national polls are giving Harris a slight lead, but again, that's within the margin of error. And there was a poll that came out over the weekend in Iowa, which was not expected to be a battleground state, that put Harris ahead by 3 points. And Iowa is not a state that has been polled regularly because it had been expected to be reliably red in Donald Trump's corner. But many are wondering whether this poll could be a harbinger of things to come tomorrow, because there were some interesting data in this poll. A lot of older women and older Republicans.
All right. As we talk about, and we continue to be connected with Chris, who continues to be with us, joining us from Michigan. But right now, Chris, we will want to also focus on the acrimonious war of words that has now been taking. I mean, it's gone up, down, and personal. Joe Biden continuing to be involved in the discourse, however, though perhaps not always to Harris's benefit. Now, after Donald Trump slammed Biden for calling his supporters garbage, Joe Biden was in the eye of the storm once again for a remark that he would like to do to the Republicans. Let's remind you exactly what he said.
But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass. But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass. But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass. But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
Well, Donald Trump, in his last-ditch effort to woo the voters in the swing states such as Pennsylvania, has launched a blistering attack on the current President Joe Biden as well as his opponent Kamala Harris.
Nobody knows where the other guy is. Where the hell is he? Where the hell did he go, David? Where is he? Nobody knows where the hell. Where is Biden? Remember? We used to go, where's Hunter? We used to go, where's Hunter? Now we go, where the hell is Biden? Where's Joe? You know, when you think they stole the election. It was just, they walked in, they said, you're out. Right? That's a threat to democracy. They call me threat to democracy. They stole the election from this guy. Whether you like him or not, they stole the election. They walked in. They said, get out of here, Joe. You're out. You're dead. You're out, Joe. And man, oh, man, he likes me better than he likes her, I really believe. And you have to tell Kamala that you've had enough, Kamala. You've had enough. You're the worst ever. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here.
All right, so this year it is going to be a historic feat as for several reasons, including for Kamala Harris being the first Indian American and a woman to seek a presidency. Donald Trump, being the first former president to be convicted of a felony charge, is seeking a second non-consecutive term and to be only in the second in the history of United States of America. And as we are counting down as far as the hours are concerned, because both the leaders now have been making their final cases to the voters from across the battleground states, especially when it comes to the Pennsylvania state, which is set to be an election which is tight, where both of the candidates have a shot at winning. So this year is historic as we talk about when it comes to several reasons as well. Donald Trump, in the meantime, has also recently survived 2 assassination attempts. And of course, Kamala Harris has been saying that the U.S. is now an opportunity for a fresh start, and it could also turn the page on a decade of politics that she believes has been driven by fear and also by division. Let's in the meantime take a look when it comes to the states, because many of the states that are said to be swing states that could play a crucial role in deciding what and who could be the winner. Let's talk about these states with the maximum electoral college votes and hence will carry a significant weight in deciding who the winner will be. California, 54 of those states that we are looking at for the votes. Texas 40, Florida 30, New York 28, Illinois 19. Pennsylvania said to be one of the major swing states, and both of them are said to be leading. Michigan 50, Ohio 17, New Jersey 14, Virginia 13, Washington 12. So total electoral college votes that we are looking at 538. Majority that is needed is around 270. So very, very close contest that we are looking at as far as in these swing states are also concerned, because the last ditch effort, the last pitch that is now being made by both of the candidates in the eve before the election results are announced. Of course, as we are looking at staying majority of the time in the closing comments and the arguments that have also focused on part of Donald Trump, if we talk about, because he mainly has been focusing on security of the US-Mexico border. He's been attacking the Democrats, saying that he will improve the economy as well. Let's, in the meantime, get you another round of breaking update that is now coming across, because even as the US presidential battle heats up, we talk about Kamala Harris and her roots that can be traced straight back to India. There are, at her ancestral home in India, there are prayers that are now being held for the victory of Kamala Harris. So let's put out those pictures as well. The puja that is now taking place, and Kamala Harris' ancestral home, because she draws her roots exactly from India. And we are looking at the pictures that are coming in. There is puja, there is Havan that is now taking place simultaneously, not also just for Kamala Harris, but Havan also taking place for Donald Trump. We've seen those pictures also come in. So this is how, as far as the India Connect that we can see, especially for Kamala Harris, special prayers that are now being held for her victory. So this is as far as a breaking update that is now coming in. A small portion, as we can talk about, India factor that is also being seen playing here. Of course, the very strong Indian American community that resides in the United States and has a significant amount of influence when it comes to casting of votes. Of course, those are the factors as well that would be at play. And time and again, even when it comes to Donald Trump, has often referred to Prime Minister Narendra Modi as his good friend. Let me go across to Rishabh now. Rishabh, good morning. Well, we are counting down to the line as we are looking at the votes there, the results that would be out in the United States of America. From some time from now, there would be a new president.
Well, definitely. Today we'll know who the new president would be. In hours from now, U.S. would be voting for the new president. Remember, as per the Constitution of the United States, Americans vote on the first Tuesday of November. That follows the first Monday of November. This time around, it's 5th of November for that matter. And what we are given to understand that by end of 5th of November, early 6th of November, local, we'll know how things would be. So India time by tomorrow, late evening or by night, we'll know how the elections have gone and what the election would be. But definitely, if we talk about how things it would be interesting. So given that this election is going down the wire, the election is going to the T is what we are given to understand. The swing states are shrinking, the swing voters are shrinking, and both the candidates are yet to confirm if they are winning or not. So it would be interesting to see how things unfold.
Absolutely, because it's down the wire there as we are looking at those images that are also now coming in from Madurai at Kamala Harris's ancestral home. There are puja, there is prayers that are now being held for a victory, and so is also for Donald Trump there. We will continue to get you. This is going to be an extensive coverage right here on Times Now. But in the meantime, let's also shift focus to the other big story that we are tracking, and this is coming in as far as the relations between India and Canada is concerned. Let's move on now.